Well, I had started working at the Pentagon probably around August 22nd, 2001. So I got up September 11, thinking that it was going to be a normal day. I was still into my orientation process, left my patient in the room, left the exam room to run down the hall to grab some paperwork when I was met with my medical commander screaming. She had a radio in hand and screaming at the top of her lungs to run. At that point, I had no idea what was going on. Here I am running down the hall with masses of people running out the door, and I took a few seconds, turned around, and what I saw was astonishing. What I saw was massive amounts of white smoke fluming from the top of the building, and at that moment in my mind I knew there was something that had went on. I didn't have any way to get home, didn't have a phone on me to call my family. My family had no idea what part of the Pentagon my clinic was in, so I thought about my family. I was thinking, I did think, am I ever going to see them again? I didn't get home until 8 or 8:30 that night. I was met there with Eric at the door. I believe my in-laws were there, and my mom, and I think my sisters. Eric just embraced me in this embrace that I'll never forget. And what I had been through was very different than what Eric had been through. Time stood still for him, whereas for me, it was an instant. No one knew where I was in the building, so there was no way of anyone knowing if I was dead or alive. So 10 years later, looking back from September 11 to 2001, 2001 was actually a year filled with many roller coasters, including September 11. There was a family illness, there was a personal event that really was the crux in my spiritual journey. I can truly tell you, and my friends and my family that know me can vouch for this. I can truly tell you that it started a kind of just a discovery, a spiritual discovery on my part. I had questions. I joined a small group. I had the most vibrant prayer life that I ever had in my life. I just was searching because I didn't quite understand. I didn't quite understand why. Why this was happening to me all at once. But I can truly tell you now, 10 years later, that my faith, my relationship with God, my family, my friends, got me through. And there's a verse that comes to mind that Paul talks about in Romans 5 that I held on to a lot that year and many years later, that we should rejoice in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. And hope does not disappoint us because God has poured out His love into our hearts by the Holy Spirit whom He has given us.